swagger and the Jedi's in sight. It's a comic book cocktail, shaken and stirred. We're the coolest cats in the whole nerd herd. Grab your badge and strike.
Now, I'm thinking, should I redo that audio on there and cut the volume, cut the song right as the music ends on those horns, or keep that, where it's going in the next verse, keep that in there?
Oh man, I'd have to listen to it again. I was just about to say, as much talk as we've had about changing format or just being like old dudes with beards talking geek shit, or because it's not like before where we're just going to conventions and doing shit. We're gonna lose that song then, and I like that song. Damn it! If we change it to something else.
No, hold on. It's
well, if we change the name. Because we had a brief talk. I called you last week after the podcast. Because I said in the middle of the podcast I got on and somebody was just talking some serious shit on us. And I looked and the next comment was, they fucking had huge hatred for us. I was like, what did we do to them? And I did not realize that sometimes Concast is used as a insult for Comcast.
Derogatory term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just had never really paid attention to that before. And I was like, oh, well, shit. I panicked and called you for a minute. But yeah, now so last week I was like, we just need to change the name of this thing. Now I have less cares.
We either will or we won't. You know me, no skin off my teeth.
That's kind of where I am with some of it. There are a number of things. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about it tonight a little bit about some changes that I'm looking at making and reasons I am, like some of the convention and festival changes. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's just I dig that song. It's like when we had Han Solo Cool, that was the earworm that just sat with me forever. It was a good song that hit me, and then now this too. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's good. This means I get to sit for an hour, just talk to my friends, and not think about all the dumb shit in the world.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so much dumb shit in the world right now.
Don't please.
No, we're not. We're not, because there's too much. We'll get snowed over by all the dumb shit. Hey Kelly, what's up, man?
Hey Kelly, I may have said it on here. It's a conversation I had last night on a meeting, and I feel I can kind of say it now. But I got that interview for that Theo Von podcast.
Oh yeah.
After the interview, did I tell you why I think maybe that didn't go through?
Yeah, you had you had strayed into subject matter that was contrary to what
they had asked me how tariffs are affecting conventions and festivals, and I was honest and didn't think about it. I went back and watched the interview, and you could see at that moment
things
the spark went out.
Yeah,
and I thought, what's going on? And then I realized, it's political. I see where Theo Von stands politically and all that, and it's like, oh fuck! I was trying to be honest, talk about festivals. I didn't know that.
See, if you
political,
in hindsight, and of course this is always hindsight. Hindsight's 20/20. We all know that saying, but you could have warped it around to, oh yeah, without the tariff, we're not with the tariffs now. We're not seeing so much drop ship Chinese stuff all over the vendor tables. We're starting to see. You could have spun it that way and stuff.
It's hard for me though, because I have watched some people. It's not affecting at all, but I have watched vendors I'm friends with completely shut down, go. I just can't do this again until either the tariffs go away or the next administration or they get something figured out. The way things are now, it just cannot stay in business. So it's hard to watch somebody lose their livelihood and then go, well, darn it, they're not bad. They just got to be honest with it.
They were existing in the finely crafted gray area of de minimis shipments, and what that was is it was a special deal. I think it was only with China. It might have been with some other countries, but any shipment under, I believe it was $800 in value, was not tariffed. All right. And that's what everything was good. That's the reason we had so much of the Temus and the AliExpresses. and all these different things like that popping up where they're shipping you cheap shit because there was no tariffs on it because it was under $800. As soon as that was closed down, all of that came to a head.
I see Kelly said, "What's up, freaks and geeks? How's my dyno coming?" I want to turn my computer. It is sitting about 5 feet behind the laptop right there. I want to turn it around.
Nah.
I'm sitting in such a mess, though. It would be embarrassing.
We do what's called Zoom cleaning, where you just clean enough that everything looks okay for you behind the camera. It's like all of those influencers out there that have that, beautiful set behind them with the accent lighting and the things arrayed on the shelf, artfully so, all behind them. Dude, do not swing that camera. Everything's different when you swing that camera.
Yeah. Well, Frankie came over here to do a podcast once, and he had been watching me do New Brew Thursdays from this room.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what was going on. I think it was Anime Fest or something. And when Anime Fest hits, or some of these festivals, everything just gets not. And right now I have no festivals. It's trash. So it's not an excuse as much as, but he'd come over and he's like, "Oh, I'd never been in your studio before." And he sat here and he's like, "Mother, this is very different than I thought it would be." And it's like, all the geek shit's there. Just right now, a lot of it's piled up or it's here and there. And he sat here the whole podcast telling everybody in the podcast how dirty the room was.
Oh.
But in fairness, I did have this all clean about 2 weeks ago with Cookie moving out, which, again, he's not here tonight. He's still getting his new house set up. He's getting his grandkids, so he's devoting his time to that right now.
Very good.
But he'll be back. But with
Like
Cookie
a bad
here,
rash.
he's still moving out. So he was living in my office where I had all my 3D printing and stuff. So all the 3D printing came up to my studio, and half of the stuff in the studio had to go down to my dining room. So I am robbing Peter to pay Paul, and he is still trying to clean out that room for me to move back into. So we're just playing it by ear here. All that Turtles thing I showed you, the real nice fucking couple grand of turtle comics I made, still isn't even hung up. It is sitting in a pile right here with your model airplane you got me, because I just haven't had time.
That's one thing that we can talk about tonight is mojo. All right, trying not to lose one's creative mojo. And
that would not be bad, because I know one of the subjects I was going to talk about was, well, just my mental frustration with this fucking conventions and stuff, to where I had an awkward week where I'm making some personal changes, but I'll talk about that here in a bit. Because part of what was going to be my geekgasm was part of that, and it all fits in. So my geekgasm it's pretty much the same thing it was last week. But last week I brought up that Scooby-Doo I was printing.
Yeah.
I can just show you now. I sent you a picture briefly.
Yes, you did. And then you posted online as well.
Yes. So I've got Scooby's head here. This is the head. Dun, 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 dun. This is my head. This is Scooby-Doo's head. This is supposed to be life size. I think I'm going to end up with an 8-foot Scooby-Doo. And this is just the head. So, like, here is the neck with the collar that goes there. So already I've got 2 full feet of just head.
Yeah, you basically got from the top of your head to almost your waist, just from ears to neck on Scooby.
And the spec of this model is 3 foot 8 inches tall with a 20-inch by 24-inch footprint.
Nope.
That's what the specs say. And that's what I sliced it into. And I'm starting to feel I lied. However, when I measure the pieces versus the actual pieces versus the files, they match up. So,
but that's the thing, though. What you need to do is you need to get an overall measurement. Basically, measure each of the pieces and find out how tall your Scoob is going to be. All right, and then run that through, just basic, math to find out how oversized what the scale factor is that you need to bring it down. I'm pretty sure that you're going to have to bring that down to like 50% scale.
I did a lot of this. So I've measured like the feet right on, perfect sizing, everything. Like everything is perfect sizing. I've looked at the original print, which looks great. And I think part of it is, I don't know, it's got to be optical illusion. Because here, if you look, for example, for those listening on the podcast, sorry about your luck. So this is his chin, which comes down probably another inch or so. And this, you assume, is the back of the head.
Yeah.
This is actually the back of the head, right between the ears.
Well, yeah, that's the back of his neck is the first thing you pointed at.
So, yeah, so it's almost like an optical illusion, I think, because when you look at the whole thing together, it gives it kind of this feel that this is just like his back. But then the collar doesn't start till down here, which in the picture looks fine, but in real life looks weird. So even measuring it all and measuring the individual pieces, this should be, it's all accurate, 3 foot 8 inches.
Really?
And Christy and I go, it's just half of him's head somehow. I'll have it put together here. I've got most of it printed. I don't know how much time I'm going to be able to put on it because I'm trying to get this dinosaur painted. So I'm trying to finish it up, but I want to get that dinosaur and the other He-Man painted up this week so that I can at least go, oh, with the new movie out, look, here's some things I made, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his nose is almost the size of my palm, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree with you. About 50% is what, if I would have just printed this first without printing the parts of the lower body, I would have already been scaling it down and just sold this as some kind of bust. But the measurements are accurate.
Oh, you should do it where he's up on the wall like he's been hunted and killed.
Yeah, but then he'd be looking, well, I guess I could mount him at an angle, yeah. I was going to do that with Scrappy Doo at one point with my post-apocalyptic Scrappy, and I was going to carry a mangled Scrappy Doo from my hip and for conventions until I started looking up what a Scrappy Doo cost. And it's like, oh, I'm just going to slice that and print it because stuffed animal Scrappy Doo start out at about $60.
Well, it's because they were so reviled that nobody wanted one.
Yeah, I think probably. Yeah. I did do a full-size Scrappy Doo slicing wise, but I'm having a hard time figuring out how to bring this the sizes from the 3D builder over to the slicer and keep them uniform with each other. Because for some reason, when I'm moving, I know Gabe gave me that same look. It's something I'm uneducated at and messing up because I don't think it's the program. It's me not knowing how to do it properly because Gabe's not having a problem with it either. But like I'll slice a thing down into 4 pieces. That first piece transfer over no problem. Once I start manipulating the other pieces, like I'll put them in the Kira slicer and it'll say, we've upped your file to 10,000 times original size because it was too small.
Something's going on there. Yeah.
So I've got it all sliced, but I can't print it because I don't know how to size it.
Instead of saving it in millimeters, are you saving it in nanometers? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. I'm keeping all original sizes. I don't know. I've tried going back and refile or resaving each file like it's a separate beginning. Like I just started it just to make sure it's not like, oh, somehow when I'm saving 4 files off of one original file, it's doing it. I'm gonna have to sit with somebody and have them walk me through it. Gabe was gonna help me, but now that he has the resin 3D printer he got last week, we talked about, he's buying a filament printer now, and he is in his zone. When he is not at work, he is working on his Custody armor, making anime kits. He has the bug, so getting him over here now is.
I've have several people around me right now, not including you, that have recently, found their way into the 3D printing world, and so I have become the wealth of information for. I'm getting text all the time. Oh, what's going on with this? What happened here? And I'm like, dude, did you try Googling it first? No. I thought I'd just ask you. No, not you. I mean, I'm talking, like some.
No, I'm guilty of it. You, my son-in-law Josh, he had a 3D printer back when they were just like starting out, and
Yeah.
that's kind of was my first exposure. And then Gabe having his experience. If it weren't for you three, I would have never gotten into it because I would have been too intimidated. So I do even now. I've had my printer for 2 years. I still called you last night, didn't I, or night before?
Night before.
And shit. Yeah, and you still do it, but also sometimes when you look stuff up on video and you have 8 people telling you different things, it's good to
Yeah.
have somebody who goes, I know your temperament. Here's the way you should do this. Otherwise, you're going to smash a machine or something.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Do not, take the $200 machine and chuck it in the fucking bucket. Do not do that.
Oh, well, there's Jen. Hey, Jen. Kelly. Oh, Honk's here. And Honk, hey, how's it going? So you're buying the files already broken into pieces, or are you breaking into printable parts? It depends on the
Model.
kit. Most of them I get. I mean, I can do a lot of free files, of course, but I do buy files for sure. Usually when I buy them, they're all broke up. I won't do the pre-supported files. I'll add in my own supports just because I like doing it that way. But what I'm also doing, I am just now trying to learn to make some of my own files, which people around me are doing. But mostly what I do is I manipulate somebody else's files. So like I'll take some off of Thingiverse or a file I bought. For example, the Scrappy Doo. It is a Scrappy Doo off of a kit that I had bought online, and I made the whole scene. It's like a graveyard and Scrappy's, fighting. I really like that Scrappy. So I took their pieces, put them over in a 3D builder, divided them into parts, put pins into them, made it all sizable for my bed on my 3D printer. So yes.
Are you cutting it into parts in 3D Builder and adding the connectors in 3D Builder?
Yes. Is that my
I
problem?
didn't know you could add the connectors in 3D Builder. I know that if you slice it up in, like any of the Orca slicers, like I was telling you and Gabe the other night,
right.
With any of those, if you slice it up in those, you can set it to automatically add, dowel pins or whatever the heck you want. Hey, Megan.
Well, and I thought you were the one that showed me that. Maybe not. Maybe somebody else did. But
I could have.
Yeah. No, that's where I learned to do it. However,
I forget a lot of stuff.
Like this Scooby here, I didn't put pins in it because what I've been doing lately is either I'm pinning it myself old school style, like when I was doing resin and vinyl kits, you'd buy them, they didn't give you pins, so you'd take parts of clothes hangers and you can just heat them up, put them in, glue them, and make your own pins. One of the problems I've been running into, especially with things where somebody else has put the pins in, you'll print it and then it doesn't line up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're struggling trying to get it together. So I'm only pinning things that I go, I'm going to be moving this around. It's going to be hanging on a wall, something like that. Scooby's going to be sitting in one spot here in my studio. I'm probably the only one that'll see him after he's done.
Yeah. I mean, if you are confident in your abilities to line it up and keep it lined up, then absolutely. Yeah. But those connection pins, they're not supposed to be load bearing per se. They're just alignment pins. Yeah.
Well, and one of the problems I've been running into is I'm running on 2 machines. One of my machines isn't quite running as good as the other. So sometimes I get some warping in my prints. The larger print you make, you can get warping. So I'm going to try to show you here if I haven't totally puttied it in yet. You can kind of see I got some gapping right here that I filled in with super glue or with hot glue and stuff.
Yeah.
It's because the piece was sitting on the bed and I'm messing with temperatures trying to get bed adhesion, and the bed had gotten either too hot or too cold, and it caused it to roll up on the corners. So instead of fitting in there flush now, I have these gaps.
What's that called? That's called like bed lift.
Yeah, bed lift.
That comes from the fact that you have the heated bed and then you have the part on top, and especially like your printers are not enclosed. All right. And so you can get more, heat loss the further the PLA gets away from, it prints up from the bed. And as you have different, different levels of cooling, because, what's up, a couple, like a centimeter is going to be colder than what's down at the bed. It's going to pull, and as it contracts, it's going to pull it up. And that's something that, if you want, I have an old Creality hot tent to retain heat and stuff like that down in the basement that I had from my old printer. If you want, I can give that to you.
I appreciate that. I think I'm going to do a different setup here. Gabe's got me convinced to try to start doing taking better care of some of my filament. I've also learned in the last week some of my slicing talent isn't there. I need to learn to use my slicer a little better,
Yes.
which is good. But so I'm gonna redo my entire setup here. I think, especially since Gabe's into it now, because then I got somebody else that's gonna help me hit on some of that. But as far as what we're talking about, there another depends. Another thing I ran into a little is there's like a Z-axis wobble you get sometimes with big prints, where the higher up you print, sometimes it can wobble a little bit and cause. Well, I might be able to show you on this if you can see through. You see how I have this? There's these lines here that start sanding. It's the print will start kind of moving, and which normally isn't a big deal. Doesn't happen much, but it's because my printers need adjusting. So if I don't pin this and I can glue and slide it a little easier, it allows me to putty in some of those differences a lot easier and hide the damage from a bad print.
A lot of that is
I could fix a lot of that if I took the time.
Is especially when you get into those monstrously tall prints where you're really pushing your print boundary with bed slingers, which is where your bed moves back and forth for the y-axis. All right, what axis for the y-axis? It moves back and forth as it's going up, and it's shifting that back and forth as it gets higher up. That's going to wobble there, and so that could be some of it too. That's one of the reasons that when I was talking with you and Gabe, I was like, really try to move to a Core XY printer that the bed just drops down instead of moving around, and that'll take a lot of that error out.
For a lot of the stuff, the kind of stuff I print, I could see that being very beneficial to me. And that's Gabe's looking at that too, because he wants to print similar things. A lot of people 3D printing, like I like printing big, cool things, and I like printing miniatures stuff for gaming. And I really just need resin for gaming, and I need a bigger printer for other stuff. But what I got is a great start.
Quick, have you taken a look at that video I sent you on filling your seams using the?
No, I have not yet.
Dude, it's a must, man. It's going to be a game changer for me when it comes to doing seams.
I need to, because Gabe sent me a guy too that is making. Well, oh shoot, I was going to share it tonight. Well, next week I'll share it. I've shown Daryl. The girl that's making the 40K full size life scale stuff. Didn't I show you that? Yeah. Okay.
No, you didn't when you talked about it.
I am so impressed with this girl, and she's printing like beds my size, and she's printed full size Space Marines. I mean, she's got one that's 15 foot tall at her house right now. It's
like, the one trick that I use now to smooth out my prints, where I use the acetone and Bondo slurry and then paint that on. I forget the name of the person who's doing that, but she was doing it on these big, full-size wearable helmets, and it just looked great. So that's what you did there?
I did slurry last night between the 2 years. This year versus, oh man, night and day difference. Slurry is the way to go. I will be doing slurry all the time now.
No.
Yeah. Huh?
You said you will not, or you will?
I will. I will be doing it on my big prints. Some of the stuff I won't, but I ended up doing it on my TARDIS last night and on the Scooby trying it out. I was very impressed, but I also realized on a big smooth piece like this, it's going to be better if I get some of my sanding and seams done, get everything done, and then once I put it all together, then do the slurry over it and give the whole thing a sand. So that is my game plan with this.
Like one of the things I found out when I was doing that Orville ship is the slurry is great until you've got a lot of detail, and that'll just fill in that detail. And that was not good. But, since then, Jessica, for our anniversary, she got me one of these detail sanders. Let me see here.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got me one of those for for our anniversary. And I use the crap out of this thing.
I might do that because I use a Dremel a lot, but a little vibrating deal like that would be.
Dremel is very aggressive.
It can be. I've got a real nice 5-speed with a good 3-foot snake and all sorts of stuff on it.
Yeah, I've got one with the snake and everything too, with the flex net.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it. Christy's
Yeah.
dad hooked me up the whole setup one year for Christmas, and
Mm.
that was fucking 20 years ago, and I haven't looked back. I'm still using my Dremel from 20 years ago, and I absolutely love it.
The only thing to watch out for is you need to make sure, like once every year or two, that you lube that flex extension.
Yeah. I take the snake out at least once a year and clean it. You can take it out of the tube and stuff. Not always on purpose, by the way. I've had it shoot out once or twice. Let me see. What brand of filament are you using? How many rolls was Scooby taking so far? I haven't been keeping as big a track on Scooby. The dinosaur that's over here that I'm making for Kelly, that one I did keep track. I've got a notebook because that one I counted the hours and everything because I thought if it worked out for Kelly, I might try to sell some eventually or something. I don't know that I will. It's a little bit more of a pain in the ass, and I've talked to Kelly a little about it too. Is the files I bought don't quite match, like the pictures don't quite match the files.
Yeah.
So like the legs don't lock in, so I've had to go back and manipulate files. The jaw doesn't open like it does in the pictures, and I'm trying to do the best I can to make it more like the toy it should be instead of a cool standing statue. But I checked that one. That one was about 14 rolls, or no, 13 rolls for that.
Wow.
It was
now,
huge.
Is that 13 rolls just for one model, or is that 13 rolls including any mess ups and repeats and stuff?
No,
is it like true, or is it all inclusive?
That's if I don't mess up.
Okay.
I had mess ups, but that's on me. That's a learning experience. I'm not, I told Kelly to buy the filament. He shouldn't have to pay for me experimental shit. So I just said, okay, so it's about $140 with all expenses, roughly. But that's because there are so many moving parts. It's tons of just moving parts. So then you start to have pins, and it comes with accessories like chairs and guns that the guys can shoot that you print up all separately. So all those prints, it's a much bigger project than Scooby-Doo, who is going to look bigger than the dinosaur when it's done. But Scooby is just I'll make it a statue, not a toy.
Right.
There's no, so it's very different. This is 29 parts, averaging what the slicer says are 18-hour prints that then translate to about 10 to 12-hour prints. So I'm going to guess I'm going to do 8 rolls on Scooby-Doo, maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Because I think I'm about 2/3 done with him, and I've only done like 4 rolls. So maybe 6, 7 rolls on Scooby-Doo. But I've also, like with the dinosaur, I put more infill on it. That way it can be played with as a toy. And Scooby-Doo, I put less infill on. So because it's just a statue that's going to sit in my studio. So, it's still pretty solid. But I could take a hammer and pop into it right now. The dinosaur I made thick enough that it's not real thick. I didn't want to be too heavy, but it made it thick enough that if you're put your He-Man on it and shit, he's not going to put his foot through the top of it.
Right. Now, let me see that black hole ship that I'm making, not including repeats, because some of the parts are, times 8, and, got to repeat it times 8 times or times 5 times or whatever. But just straight files, it is 101 different files, and some of them have, like I said, times 8 repeat on them. So I've got a very big box full of parts, and I'm really, really not happy with myself because I started off not numbering them, and then after a little bit I was like, oh, I need to put the numbers down on, but I used really cheap tape to put the numbers on. And then about halfway through, I noticed the tape was all coming off and their numbers weren't staying. So I was like, screw it, I'm not done. I got a really big box of parts and they're not numbered.
that dinosaur said that way for a while because I was like, I don't know what parts I printed and what ones I don't when my machines were down. And I was like, I gotta go back through every fucking file and look at what's been printed and what hasn't. Because I don't know, it's like, I think it was 89 pieces or something ridiculous for all that. and I do need to answer your question about filament real quick. Jen said booked Airbnb, and we got a lot more to talk about. Shit, we're just talking about printing now, but booked Airbnb for Hannibal. Starting to get all hotels and lodging booked for traveling.
Sweet.
I'm so happy you're going to be there, Jen. I was just having Big River meeting with Tammy before this, and I was feeling a little discouraged. And I just knowing that I have friends that are there is going to be nice, because I was starting to get a little I don't know, overwhelmed with stuff. So that'll be good.
Yeah,
because
and Mike wrote here that he buys most of cheap filament most of the time. Last bunch was 10 rolls for about $109. So you're looking at $11 a roll. And but he says it likes to act up if it's not kept completely dry. What I used to do, Mike, for a while, when I was being, during the craze of, oh, you have to keep it, dry, is I used to I purchased a vacuum sealer thing. And so when I would get done with something, I just shove it into a bag and vacuum seal it. And then I got a machine that has a built-in dehydrator on it. So just screw that now. Just if it's been sitting there a while, I chuck it into the dehydrator and let it run for 4 hours. Because
you can dehydrate your stuff in an oven or something.
I used to use my my toaster oven because it has a dehydrator setting. I put it in, I think it's 107 degrees Fahrenheit at 45 C, and put it in for 4 hours, and it's all nice and dehydrated.
I've got a couple like that, and what my thing what forever has been, I just take all my little deals that come in the packets, throw them in a bag, and then I Ziploc the bad ones in the bag, and then if I ever need them, they're extra for filler stuff. But Gabe is swearing by dehydrator. He says buy one. They're $40. It will save you more than $40 worth of filler.
Now, here's the funny thing, and by the way, those are called desiccant packages.
Thank you.
But here's the funny thing: is Bamboo, the Apple of 3D printers, their AMS system supposedly dehydrates as well, but all they have in their AMS system is a container that you put desiccant beads into, and it will suck out the moisture. So basically, their dehydrator is not an active dehydrator. Theirs is a passive desiccant package dehydrator, which I think is just not up to the level it should be, because mine is better and mine is a cheaper unit. Haha.
Maybe we should just do a modeling channel. Man, we're 41 minutes in, and we only got to my.
Dude, we haven't even gotten to the part about trying to get our mojo back.
So, but real quick, Mike, the filament I am using currently, right now on sale on Amazon, you can get these, which is a PLA Plus. It's a refillable roll if you ever need.
Those are the Sunloos, right?
The what?
Those are the Sunloos?
Sunloos, is that the brand? Maybe it's a new brand I just tried. I don't know where I put the box.
What it cost
right
you?
over there. So I paid $41 for 4 rolls. That was pretty damn good, I thought.
That is good.
I have another brand of PLA Plus I normally use. I go with PLA. It is not as structurally good often, and it's not good for being outside, but it's a lot better for detail and large scale modeling. And I like detail because I don't have a resin printer. Matter of fact, I'm starting to mess with tips now. I'm going from a 0.4 millimeter tip to a 0.2 to try to get some finer detail on one of my machines.
Yep.
This stuff right now, loving it. PLL Plus, a lot smoother. You get better detail, and it's the same price as regular PLA. You just got to watch for it on sale.
Yeah.
When you catch it on sale, it's the same price, I should say. And it's the same price as regular PLA on sale. So.
Yeah, I was a little bit irritated because what I normally would, because I buy double packs. I always keep a double pack of white, a double pack of black, and a double pack of gray going. And my favorite filament color to print in is gray, because it reminds me of polystyrene models, because they all come gray. So
it always looks like something that's already been primed for me. My problem, I love gray the most too, but my problem is I prime mostly in gray. So I have a hard time seeing where I've primed and where I haven't, because the thing's already gray.
Well, just don't prime in gray. Prime in a different color.
I do, but priming in different colors. Some things, like if I'm wanting like this fire I'm painting, I'm priming in white because I want it to be brighter
Wow.
from underneath. And then like the whole bottom part of it, I primed in black because I want to use the darkness and the cracks and all that stuff.
Right.
So usually I just prime in gray, but it depends on the item whether I'm priming in a different color or not.
See, one of my big problems I'm running into now because I'm doing such, with airbrush, I'm trying to do such large surface area is when I'm airbrushing, trying to get it so I got a uniform coat. And when you're just running with your airbrush, even if I'm using a 0.5 nozzle, it's still difficult to make sure I'm not getting all streaky and stuff on it. And this is, I think it was 3 primer coats and 2 coats on top of that. So this was a lot just to get it so it looks uniform. That looks uniform, right?
I mean, from here over the internet, sure. I mean, it looks.
Pew, pew. Okay.
I'm busting out the airbrush for the first time in years this week because
nice.
The He-Man model I showed you last week, I want to paint the reflections of the fire, and then I want to use it for the dinosaur too. So I'm worried I haven't painted with it for so long that it's going to be like learning again and everything.
Do not start off on the piece that you're wanting to work on.
No. I'm going to start off on all sorts of just junk and playing with stuff. And Christy's got a giant vase downstairs that I fixed that I'm going to try to airbrush stuff on. And yeah, I got plans to make sure because I can paint stuff and make it look kind of airbrushed, but it's like 10 times the work and it's not going to look quite as good. So I might as well just start airbrushing again. But yeah, we should move on real quick. Do they have Last Starfighter? Yes, there's tons of Last Starfighter stuff out there.
Oh yeah. Kelly, go to Gambody, spelled Gambody. They have the Last Starfighter model up there, and it looks great. Matter of fact, they're having a sale going right now.
Well, and Gambody is one that you will buy files from, but they have beautiful files. You can also go to Thingiverse or Cults or any of that, and they might have free ones there as well. Sometimes you'll get really good ones off those free sites. Sometimes they're just like Tim's been sending me tons of free ones off of Cults to print for his gaming stuff. And that's great because they're some of them beautiful. Some of them, they're just free little stupid files like a giant frog or a boar or something or a bearskin rug.
Matter of fact,
you can get really awesome ones.
I'm going to put into the chat right now the link to the Gambody Last Starfighter. It's on the 35% off sale right now, so you can pick it up for $20 for the files. And I have lauded before greatly on how much I like using Gambody, even though their files are more expensive. If I ever have a problem, an issue, and I have had issues before, and I have emailed them, and normally they will have it fixed and the replacement, the revised file up by the time I get back up the next day because they're in China and we're here. So I mail it before I go to bed. And by the time I get up in the morning, they're like, "Oh, you're right. Here's the fixed file. Here you go. Let us know if there's anything else." They are excellent customer service.
Yeah, if I ever end up doing a full 3 foot long ecto and shit, I'm buying the Gambody one for sure.
Oh yeah,
I think they got the best looking one out there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow,
no.
All right, you got a Geekgasm this week? Because
I don't have a single. I mean, the only thing that's happened this week that I've kind of been like, "Ooh, this is going to be interesting." Remember last week, I sent you down the Skynet rabbit hole with everything that was happening with that Moltbot.
I was talking about this shit in a meeting last night. I even made jokes about how, hey, I just ordered the help right off that website, Rent a Human, and yeah. And how many people have been able to enlighten on that shit lately? But go on.
But apparently, the big news is that the guy who created all that, he was just snapped up and hired by OpenAI. So Claudebot is going to be incorporated in the future into OpenAI. They're going to be bringing it in and making OpenAI, more agentic and not just, see, the thing is like nowadays what they call agentic isn't really, because it's just a prompt window that sits there and waits for you to put something in, and then it will respond to you with words. All right. and that's basically all that the AI does right now. But the the agentic AI that Claudebot is, or not Claudebot, excuse me, Moltbot or OpenClaw, the AI that is the agentic AI. That one you can set it up and say, hey, this is what I want you to do, and it will go be proactive about it, be able to gather resources, send resources to you. It's not something that you'll have to sit there and prompt it. If you give it a schedule to do something at, it will do it on that schedule, and actually go and and even send you text messages and stuff like that. So this is a lot more proactive, and the fact that it's going to be incorporated into OpenAI here in the future, that means that before they do that, they're going to have to fix all the security issues with it, which is what I'm looking forward to, because I wanted to play with it, but I sure as shit didn't want to have to deal with all the security issues. Anyways, that's my only geekgasm, because I have been busy trying to freaking get my mojo back. Go ahead.
I know the mojo thing. I've been struggling. I think we've all been struggling with it, but it's something I was going to talk about tonight. But yeah, Dustin, you missed it. We've been talking 3D prints for the first 45 minutes of the show. So we're just now getting into some of the other stuff. Getting that mojo, I've been struggling with that a lot. I've been struggling with a lot of stuff, but that was one thing I was going to bring up, because you don't even know this. I'm going to get personal for a moment, because this week, and you don't notice it because I'm on happy pills. I had a full-on nervous breakdown this week.
Oh.
And I know nervous breakdown isn't a medical term. It's not something doctors would use, but they use it. It was I just, sometimes you, like the way they explain it, you pour so much out of a cup, you just keep giving and giving and giving, and nothing comes back. Eventually, you just snap. And that happened to me this week on Valentine's Day, which isn't great for your wife. But it started on Valentine's Day, got really bad on Sunday. I couldn't leave the house. I could not function. I had what I thought was nervous breakdowns in my life. Everybody says what they are. I've been very stressed. This was going from not being able to breathe to full crying, snot bubbles, to punching through walls. This was something I had never experienced in life before.
It was very weird. The full swing.
Man, it was. I should have Christy up here. She had to deal with a lot of it, and it was everybody in the world hated me. I snapped. I genuinely fucking snapped, and a lot of it is work related, and a lot of it is family related. And so I'm better now, but it has given me not by choice, but a fully different perception on life. Going into it, I was very much like when you just wake up, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this show I've been watching the whole time that's my life is fucking stupid. Here's where you did that wrong. Here's where you did that wrong. This person's not even your friend. That person, all this stuff hit into me. I didn't mean to point at your picture when I said that, Daryl. I love you.
That's okay. In my window, I'm on the other side, so I think you were pointing at Christy. So go ahead.
Okay, cool. Well, then it would be Kelly right here. Sorry, Kelly. But no, I did, and I say this mainly because it should be stuff that people should be able to talk about, because so many of my friends are like, when they go, oh, you see a therapist? I don't know. I've thought about it. Therapist helps great. I love my therapist. And by no means do I think I'm crazy. I think I'm more well mentally put together than a lot of people around me. I also think that's what my therapist says is part of my problem. He says, you're around a lot of crazy ass people that drag you down. And I'm not blaming other people, but some of the people I'm around. So
yeah,
it's a lot of stuff built up on me. And some of the festival stuff has really built up on me, because industry stuff's changed. And being a festival consultant, what I get a lot is, and I pretty much got told this by one large festival I worked for last week, where I was like, I'm kind of getting tired of every year telling you guys, this is what needs fixed. Every year you do something different. And every year you need me to fix the problem that got created by you not doing what I told you to. So I'm just here to clean up your messes. And they were like, Yeah, it's what we like about you. So we're going to keep doing it wrong and keep paying you to come clean up the mess. I'm like, no, because then that makes it look like me being the consultant makes it look like I ran your entertainment wrong for you.
Hmm.
I can't let you run it wrong. And then everybody sees me trying to clean up a mess they think is mine.
Right.
So no more of that. Um, I struggle with that a lot. So eventually I snapped. I had a different way of looking at stuff. I've been struggling with wanting to step back from some fairs, and this year is going to be unique. Well, next year is going to be a unique year for me because it's going to be the first time in over 2 decades that I haven't owned a festival because we are shutting down Anime Fest. So I'm still helping run a bunch, but I'm not going to own one now, which is a little bit of freedom for me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, do I want to step away from some of this? Do I want to do this? And an opportunity that is so gross. What the snot bubbles is that? um, the uh, the opportunity got kind of thrown to me, and I'm debating it. I'm not saying this is what I'm going to do, but my wife brought it to my attention today. My aunt is coming down in May, and she had talked to my dad because I've shown great interest in our family history, and we've got a very unique family. You know some of it with my
Oh yeah.
grandpa, and
Very
he was in the
spicy.
concentration camps, war hero stuff, all sorts of cool stuff, and not cool
Yeah, but
stuff,
you
but
you
cool
you
stories.
forget to say which side of the war he was a hero on, and when he was at the concentration camp, didn't you say he fell out of the tower once?
Yeah, yeah, he
Anyway,
fell
go
right
ahead.
out the tower, didn't he? No, he was a German soldier that spoke multiple languages. He was wanted by the Russians. He was a Cossack for a while. He was
Yeah.
Hitler himself was after my grandpa. It was a very cool, neat stories.
Right.
He wrote his memoir, and he wrote it in like 5 different languages as he was remembering. So like he would be in Poland writing about what was happening in Polish. Then he got in confrontation with the German soldiers. So then the memories now are in German.
Hmm.
And then he had to turn them into Russian authorities. So now it's in Russian. And so it's a very convoluted, but now with AI, a lot more people. People in the family have been trying to work with it for a long time. I've tried to work with some of it, but I don't have access to all the stuff. My aunt is bringing me either all the copies or the originals of all my grandpa's stuff. So in May, I can start doing it as a side hobby. And Christy's like, why don't you just, you always talk about writing a book or something. You got connections. You got people wanting to publish you writing a book now. I mean, I got people now, publishers that will say, if you write something, we'll publish it, assuming it'll be good,
Yeah.
but, but they just trust you as a person. So that's good. So it's like, maybe I should just take some time off next year, stay home for a while and work on translating and trying to put this into some kind of book and see where it goes. Because like I love all the festival stuff, but you get burnout after fucking a few decades of the same shit. And it's not that I hate it, but I'm sure toying with the idea of stepping back for a while and doing either this or something else. Not like we wouldn't still perform and still do stuff. I'd still do some consulting,
Yeah.
but instead of taking on new jobs, I might just drop a couple and
I'm telling you, man,
move on.
I got this idea to make alcohol. Let me know
Really?
if you're interested.
But the alcohol would still be part of that, it would have to. But no, and that would open me up to doing some more of that stuff.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course, it would close a couple doors on some festivals that maybe, but most of those are out of state anyway, and we're
Right.
not set up to do that currently. And it's not like I can't go back to those people and try and negotiate stuff if I need to. So I just yeah, I think for my head,
Yeah.
I probably
You
do
have to
some of
keep
that.
your mental health at the forefront of your decisions.
Kristen says no, that is gross. It's no, clean up their mess after you told them how to fix it, and they don't. And I'm going to
Hey,
say, Kristen, that is every festival. That
yeah,
is
that's what
even
you get
ones
paid
you
for, though.
own.
I mean,
It is.
it's like one time my mom she was head of HR at Irwin Army Medical Center. One time she was on the phone talking to me. She goes, "I had this new nurse, and she was in my office, and she was complaining. She's like, I just don't like it. I don't like being a nurse. It's not as much fun as I thought it would be." And she's like, I didn't know how to respond to that. And I was like, you kidding? You tell her, yeah, that's the reason we pay you. If it was fun, you would pay us to do it.
That's well, see, that's one of my struggles too. Is I think on some of these and I've said this publicly, so I feel I can. Some of the festivals I work
You
for,
tried that alcohol powder yet? Yeah, it's called cocaine. We got shut down immediately. First recipe I submitted, they were like, "You're getting your ingredients from Colombia," and I was like, "Yeah, some Escobar dude."
in fairness, we probably could have got it from Kansas, but
Yeah.
What the fuck was I going to say before we got on cocaine? I can't remember now.
If it was fun, we would pay you to do it.
Yeah, some of the festivals I do, I get paid for straight up. And there are some festivals, because they treat me so well and I'm performing there anyway. There are some festivals. TsunamiCon's a great example, which I don't do much there. I just help them for free. I just whatever, because it's a festival I want to see do well. They don't walk on me. They treat me with utter respect. So I help them out because they're good people. And it's a festival I want to see go good. There are other festivals, some of them it's a paycheck, some of them it's an exchange of services. It's like some entertainers I used to represent. I'd represent them, and I wouldn't get paid. I'd get them gigs, but then every time I needed to do a gig, it would be like travel expenses, So then it would save me $700 or something. That would be worth it, but I'm not running enough festivals now to make that worth it. But then, so it's real tough when you're busting your ass for an event, working your ass off, trying to do everything you can to save them. Keep in mind, you may have done this in another event last month and gotten $2,000 for doing that. And then you come here to do it for free and they don't listen to you, which not that they have to listen to you, but that's what they're paying you for, is your expertise. They don't listen. And then they act confused. And this happens all the time. They act confused afterwards. Like, well, oh my gosh, maybe we should have had more seating. Maybe we should have done this inside. And it's like, yeah, that's why I sent you an entire proposal about doing this inside where we had free seating, and then, But then you're fixing it. And then they're going, oh no, see, everything worked out just great. Let's do it that way again next year. And you're like, no, it didn't work out great. I ran in circles for an hour fixing the problem that I said was going to be a problem. Yeah. This is every fucking event.
The analogy is people who just see the swan gliding gracefully across the lake and they don't look underneath to see those legs going like freaking crazy to make it look graceful. Yeah.
And I want to be the swan. I don't want to be the legs.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. It's all one bird.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see. Those mushrooms make you forget a little bit. Oh, I'd love mushrooms right now. Damn it. That would be great.
God, I remember you were a teetotaler, dude.
Teetotaler? Not doing anything. Now I'm like, yeah, mush.
Yeah.
I had that.
Now you're like, just put it under my eyelids. It'll be fine.
I had to talk to the guy about that a couple of weeks ago because I got pulled over for a broken windshield. Just broken windshield, not anything big. Within 4 minutes, they had the drug dogs there sniffing the truck. Christy's going nuts because she'd never had anything like that. And I'm like, honey, I used to get that all weekly in Newton, Kansas. I haven't had it in a few years now, and I asked him, I was like, so why the drug dog? And the drug dog guy goes, I have no idea. The cop just did it. And it's some like 20-year-old fucking cop there. And I'm like, could I ask why the drug dog for a cracked windshield? And he's like, I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. And I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
So you pulled me over for a cracked windshield. We're doing nothing wrong. Do I look like I'm just do drugs? He goes, I don't know if you do or not. I don't know. And it's like, okay, cool. And trying to explain, because then you're talking to other people about it, where a lot of people look at you and go, you do look. I used to look more like I was the guy that got drugs. Now I am the guy that gets high. But all those times that drug dogs were hitting me, I didn't smoke shit, didn't do shit. I drank alcohol sometimes. That was it for 40 some years. And this was the first time I think I've been really drug searched since I do drugs. And I stood up for myself more that time than I do when I have no drugs. And I'm just like, yes, officer, please don't. Please, check everything. Whatever you need, officer. And this time I was like, yeah, fuck you. What happens when I do have them on me,
Yeah. Yeah, truly, I mean, depending on how much, I hear that anymore, it's just a misdemeanor and you got to pay a fine. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Depending volume, of course.
in Newton, it's pretty rough. Like I think I'd mentioned 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting with the city here where they're wanting me to start running some events for Newton. Did I talk about that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. So in that, one of the things I had to tell him, because he's like, "Can you get some of these celebrities in here?" And I go, "The local F-rate celebrities like me from Wichita that I can get, like movie directors and some actors and some comic book artists that we have in Wichita.
Yeah.
I have tried getting them here, and I've gotten a couple of them here before. And this is no exaggeration whatsoever. I'd say 80% of them refuse to come for the same reason, and that's because they came through Newton at some point and either got arrested or pulled over and searched. Like, I'm not kidding. I can give you a list of people that have told me this. And I even think the guy from the city maybe didn't believe me. Frankie's one of them. Frankie used to say this. Good little boy Frankie had never been arrested or anything in his life. The first show he did in Newton, he got arrested. He got pulled over for, like, I don't know, being too close to one lane or something. And come to find out, he did have a suspended license due to like a ticket or something. But it was a whole thing. He missed the show and all that. And he's like, holy shit, I didn't even know this ticket existed until I got to Newton. So, yeah, of course it existed, but it's like a curse. But there are people I cannot get to come here at all because
I'm going to hang myself out to the whims of fate right now and say, I have never had any kind of interaction with any police officer in Newton.
Oh, well, here Mike is here. Honecker, vouch for me on this. Remember when we got pulled over once because somebody 30 miles away stole some dynamite out of a building in another town, 2 towns away, stole some dynamite out of the building. So they pull all of us over in Honecker's car and somebody else's car because they knew we played Dungeons and Dragons. And if you play Dungeons and Dragons in the 80s and 90s in Newton, this means, therefore, you must be the kind of person that would steal dynamite. This was not isolated. This was an ongoing. I could sit here and give you an hour long of stories
if they
that we got harassed because we played Dungeons and Dragons by the police.
D&D in the 80s, there were no artificers, so dynamite would not have been canon for any of the characters. You would not have.
Oh, they don't know that. But back then, especially this one particular officer, the one that had our buddy Keto literally committed for 24 hours and cost him, I don't know how many thousands of dollars of bullshit, because he was quite certain that when my buddy accidentally fell into the creek and almost froze to death because he was drunk, partying, fell into the creek, he's certain because we played D&D, he was trying to commit suicide. To the point where he went to all our parents, and my mom fucking read him the riot act, because all our parents were like, "You have no idea what's going on," but this officer did flat out come at us. But yeah, Newton in the 80s, it was bad. All they knew is mazes and monsters, and it's all satanic. And be fair, this incidents, most of these I'm talking about, were actually mid 90s.
He got booty.
Huh?
You know what they say? Grippy socks, grippy box. Way to go, Keto.
See, he got pulled over in Newton, leaving Newell's, and that was when I was a 911 dispatcher. He got booties. Yeah, Mike, that was the Keto got booties because he called me from the mental hospital and said, "Can you come pick me up? I'm here." And I'm like, I had been partying with him the night before as well, so I was hungover, and I was like, "You are full of shit." So another one of our buddies went and got him. I wake up to just paper booties sliding because he lost his shoes in the creek. And he had no pants either because the officer took him to the hospital, insisting that he was ill.
Suicidal.
And the hospital, the hospital didn't do anything to him except for cut his pants off in the hallway. So he lost his pants, lost his shoes, and he didn't want to go to the hospital. He ended up with a couple $1,000s on bills for that. The military actually helped him get out of it. It was a fucking mess.
Wow.
But it was so bad they got our school involved. Again, not isolated incidents. And I guarantee through the 90 to 93, I bet I got pulled over a minimum once every 3-4 weeks and searched 100%. And not once did they ever find anything. Well, one time they found some Renaissance Fair gear I had, and they took that. because I can't legally own a whip, I guess, and Ren Fair shackles, can't own those. That kind of shit. I don't
Yeah.
know why you couldn't, but they took all that shit. And then one time they got me with a bottle of wine. Other than that,
No, they took it because they're kinky bitches and they wanted to play with it at home. That's the reason they took it. It was never entered into evidence.
no. Well, anyhow, see, you get me bitching about Newton now. I might start working for him, so I gotta stop.
All right, so getting our mojo back. We want to talk about that, or
sure.
we're looking at too much time here.
I don't know how much time we need. I mean, that's part of me getting my mojo back. Me changing some of my career might be good because I still love all the geek shit. Still gonna do my 3D printing and I love it all. But the convention community it's tough, man.
See, one of the things I want to do, because I love modeling, but right now I think my problem is I've gone too far over the deep end of complexity with my models. All the stuff I'm doing, the hundreds and hundreds of windows for one, the other one's running all the electronics, and having spider webs of wires and everything. I don't even have the board in there yet, just stuff I need to do. And I think the thing is, I just need to back off and do some things that are some simple modeling. So that's like today, one of the things I did just to get back to square one is I went ahead and ordered off of eBay for $8. I found an Airfix starter model of just an airplane, World War II airplane, and for like $9. And it's actually called a starter kit. It comes with the little model. It comes with a paintbrush and a little thing of glue and 3 little paint pots in it, with colors. And it is a basic starter model, the easiest and most basic. And I just need something that I can just put together and say, oh, that was fun. Chuck it in the fuck it.
I almost sent you an auction for one like that. On eBay, there's a guy I buy a bunch of autographs from and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking through his stuff, and he had a model kit from like the 80s, still in the cellophane, and it's 3 ships from Star Trek. Can't remember which ones, but if it's from the 80s, you can pretty much guess which 3. So it's all still in the cellophane, like $20, $10 shipping. And he sent me a thing for like an offer, like $12 and you can buy it, because I watched it. And I almost sent it to him, and I thought, well, that's not anything near like what he's making now. Why would he pay when he could just print? But I mean,
because I've been playing with some of those, and I actually got one of those kits. And I think my problem was I went and tried to make it too damn difficult. And even though they're just little bitty ships, a 3 little bitty ship set, I still ran lights in it.
Yeah, see, and that's the stuff that scares me. Like I was showing Gabe your black hole print you're doing, and how much the rigging on the side of that, to me, looks like the supports for your resin printer.
Yeah.
So I would be scared to death of cutting up. There's so much detail. I'd be scared to death of cutting that up. And then you're running lighting and rigging through it. That stuff. So yes, this. So this severely intimidates me. However, you also said, like when you were going to do that She-Ra model, you're like, it didn't print right, and it's, I don't know that that's for me. So what we need to do is challenge each other. We should find a kit that each of us should do, and you do more like the shit I'm doing with like a character, and I got to do like a fucking light rig spaceships thing or something.
There are a lot of a lot of building groups. They will do a build night, and what they do is they just get together like either on Discord or Google Meets or something like that, or Zoom, and they'll just them and whoever else pops into the room. They all just sit there, and sometimes they're building different things. Sometimes like one podcast that I listen to, they like what is it? I think March is their Star Wars March, and every March they do a different Star Wars model. I think this March they're all tasking each other to do like a I think it's either the TIE bomber or the TIE fighter or something like that. And so each of them is doing their own model, and they just do it during their co-build time.
See, those are the guys that have already built everything they want to build. Like I still haven't built all the shit I want to build yet. I could do that maybe once or twice a year, but I couldn't do a random kit that often.
Well, see, those are the guys that have some of them, are considered lightweights at only having 600 models in their stash, while other of them have like 3,000 models in their stash. And
that's what I worry about. If you count miniatures, easily I got that, but I don't count miniatures. You buy a miniature, clean a couple flakes off of it, and then maybe or maybe not paint it.
They're doing full on. They're almost all World War II. I don't understand the draw of
the generation. I do. I love World War II, but I think some of that just growing up with the family history of some of that shit. But it's a guy thing. Like a lot of guys are like Bigfoot and World War II and fucking guns and monster trucks. I'm not a guy?
You saying I'm not a guy's guy? Is that what you're saying? No.
You're a guy's guy, just in a different way, man. You brew alcohol and shit like that. See, Mike, real quick, you put the Scooby-Doo. We talked about it for like 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
But to give you an example, that's the head. I was showing it off earlier. So
yeah, Mike, as we've always said, John gives good head. So that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, and the She-Ra.
I was waiting for it to dog or something. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the She-Ra was not printing right. It was just, I am not as good with resin printing as I am with filament printing, and there was just a whole lot of issues happening. A whole lot of, parts were not fitting together. There was a lot of weeping going on even after I would put it through the alcohol bath and then put it through the curing station. It would just start oozing, some leftover resin from the inside. Eventually I was just like, fuck it. I'm done.
Yeah. See, how about I do She-Ra for you, and then you can do like a fucking Ecto or something. That wouldn't be fair.
Here's the thing, though, is you don't have a resin printer. Gabe does. So when you say that you'll do She-Ra for me, you're saying that Gabe will do She-Ra for me.
No, I'll do it on a filament printer and make it as good as you will on a resin printer. So,
all right.
I would do it on a filament.
I'll send you the files. I paid like $2.50 for it. I'll send you.
Yeah. Well, send me the files. I might print it up often. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, what I'd probably do, much like I'm doing with this He-Man kit, the whole thing will be PLA, and then on his face where I need it really detailed, that will be resin. But
see, and that's kind of what needs to be done here. I mean, She-Ra, she's got that long flowing hair and stuff like that. So some of her stuff is going to be like really, really fine detail, but then there's other parts of it that can be done with less fidelity, larger body parts.
That like 2 millimeter head's going to fix all my problems.
The 0.2 mil?
Oh yeah, that's going to fix everything.
You think that? I've been working with some 0.2 mil heads for some higher, resolution things. Get ready for your print time to slow way down.
Yeah, I heard about by half almost.
Yeah,
I heard. I mean, it's half the size, so.
Yeah, it's just and because there's more layers, there's more opportunities for things to mess up.
Hey Jake, how's it going? Nerd. I want to know how your show went. I looked online. I was so sad I couldn't make it. We wanted to, but look good. I saw, and I would say it's not my place to say, but it's on the internet. You got engaged, so congratulations, because I would have fucking loved to have been there for that. But that's all right. It's all right.
How drunk was she?
No, no, congrats. It looked like show went good and everything. I just don't know. And I would have really liked to seen Brent too. I haven't seen him in a while. I bet it's been 2 years since I hung out with Brent almost. Molotov. I don't know if you remember Molotov. He used to do Emerald City.
I think that was from Venture Brothers.
Yeah, no. Molotov is Stupid Human Tricks. He did the hypnotism show at Emerald City when we had that, if you remember.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he in St. Louis a lot?
Oh, yeah. St. Louis. Yeah, you definitely met him in St. Louis. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He was the one that him and Tom kind of butted heads a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah. It was not as big as I had hoped, but yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
darn.
she said. You got to put her quotes in quotation
Well,
marks.
I think he's
So
talking
knows
about the
what
show,
she
not
said.
the engagement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Uh, anyhow, well, I think we're just talking about doing our mojo. We spent too much time talking about 3D printing, but we've talked a lot of 3D printing this episode and mental health.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, and people are still watching, so that's pretty freaking amazing
Well,
right there.
in fairness, half these people have been waiting for my mental health to crack anyway. So now
Yeah,
that it's happening, they're like, okay, let's take some notes because the
yeah.
downfall of the next year is going to look extraordinary. So,
Well, yeah, you got to watch it though, because now that we've had this podcast, they can start bandying around words like premeditated and crap like that. So you got to be careful.
in fairness, some of these people, like I think, like with Kristen and especially Jen and stuff, like Jen has watched me slowly deteriorate for many years. She's been there through a lot of the running Great Plains for years and shit, and I think so much that's just caught up with me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying in a bad negative way. Matter
No.
of fact, it's been happening, and I think this. And again, the proper word is not nervous breakdown, but it is the most accurate word. I mean, the definition of nervous breakdown is exactly, and you can ask Christy. The only thing I didn't suffer from every symptom that they associate with it is hallucinations, and that sounds like the fun part. Uh, so, and it's not that I'm bad. It's like even now, I tell Chrissy, I'm not. It sounds weird. I'm not the same person I was a week ago. It's like waking up and seeing things through a different point of view. And I see, like somebody has educated you on something. You're like, oh, now that I see it that way, I can't unsee it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things that I've just been doing in life are just, I've let a lot of people walk on me, is the best way to say it. And that's not like a pity me thing or anything. It's just I have.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with people like you, Daryl, who doesn't walk on me and does shit for me. I appreciate that so much. But you know some of the people that walk on me. So
Oh yeah.
I just am not doing that anymore. And if I don't have to worry about owning a festival anymore, I can change my entire life right now if I want to. And that is something I haven't been able to truly say because I've had these obligations for a few decades now.
Right.
So, like, I could move to another state if I wanted to. And the only thing it would really hurt would be the whack. Christy's over here already planning.
No, you can't leave me.
Yeah,
I've been stuck in this fucking state ever since my dad retired out of the military here, and then I fucking fell in love with a bitch from Kansas, and now I can't leave this goddamn state.
Jake says,
Man, I was
move
in the
here.
Pacific Northwest. Man, I was hanging out on docks watching fucking killer whales stalking sea lions and stuff.
Oh,
Fucking Kansas. No, you ain't leaving me. Fuck no. I'll do that whole, thing with the block and the breaking of the ankles shit. I'll straight up Stephen King your ass.
well,
Fuck
now I
that,
feel
man.
love. See, this is what love feels like. This is what.
I'll do that for you too.
You'll kick my ass too. Thanks. Hey,
But-
extra for that shit.
Well, I understand enough. I'm going to share up really quick. Jessica and I, we've been dealing, with some stuff, and for a joking matter, I created a new family crest for the Edsons. Of course, using AI because I have no freaking, artistic skills whatsoever. I don't want to hear it from anybody.
Says the guy who just showed all the work he's doing on those fucking models. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that somebody else came up with. I'm just putting it print and then I'm gluing it together and it's all good.
There's an
Anyway.
art form to making that shit look pretty, dude. Trust me.
Well,
Contractors are just grabbing wood and shit from the store and building a house out of it. So
yeah, basically. I mean, they've got a whole plans and everything.
Everybody's telling me where to move. Christy has told me I can't move near any friends unless it's Mikey Mason because he will carry my ass through a show. Other than that, I can't move to any friends. So
Anyway,
yeah,
I
somewhere else.
created this new seal, and Jessica loves it because if you look down, I have our new family motto. All right, nisi mala fortuna, nolla fortuna. All right, which is Latin, and it means without bad fortune, no fortune. If it weren't for bad luck, we'd have no luck at
No
all.
luck at all.
See the shears. I'm assuming representing Jess and
Yeah, we got fabric shears and a wine bottle, crossed fabric shears and a wine bottle.
Yeah,
love it.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. So this was just for shits and giggles?
Yeah, it was just for shits and giggles. She was having a bad day. Well, she's been having a bad couple of months. But we were talking back and forth, and and she was like, "Yeah, our new family motto should be: if it weren't for bad luck, we'd have no luck at all." And I was like, "Give me a minute, I'll whip something up." And so I was able to come up with it in Latin. Without bad fortune, no fortune.
I like that. I guess Jake, I thought he was joking at first to move here because he's wanting to make a 40-acre pirate paradise. Maybe he's serious. Tortuga tiny homes, campgrounds. That'd be awesome.
And he can carry the
damn
waves
it.
of music.
No.
He can carry me through a show, damn it. So I can move to Kansas City.
No, because well, hold on. Who's suggesting? Okay, no, that's Jake. Okay, I thought it was Michael saying move to Kansas City, Missouri. Hell no. You realize how difficult it is to set up a winery in Missouri? Ain't gonna happen.
I'm trying to look at liquor laws right now, and I'm starting to think ChatGTP just don't fucking like me. So keeps giving me different answers on places to go and shit. I got to start over again. Kristen says looks about right. All right, so we should probably we're a half hour over, and we just bullshitted through the day like normal, which is good. Looking good, Christy. You are looking good. Always looking good, sweetie. There was something else I was going to say there, and I can't remember, and it was about you.
Family seals, bad luck.
Oh, nothing. It wasn't much. Today, Christy and I bought a kettle warmer so that we can serve warm meat now.
Oh, nice. So you bought basically a water bath that you can heat up.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a coffee deal. We were doing it in a crock pot at that thing. Like,
did that go over well?
Yeah, I couldn't keep it warm enough. It just wouldn't. It was like room temperature mead, which isn't the same as warm mead.
No, it's not the same as heated.
I didn't serve it because I didn't feel confident that it represented what I wanted.
You know what you could do? And this is just a thought. We should try it. What you could do is heat up a hot iron. Gabe's got something out in the blacksmith shop. I know.
I got
heat
stuff
up a
here,
hot iron and just do that. A plunge into a glass of wine with the hot iron to instantly heat it. It's got presentation to it. All right, you get to play with fire. I mean,
is that going to kill some of the alcohol?
Well, I don't know. See, because I remember that Prost actually serves a beer that they heat up that way at Prost.
Oh,
yeah.
My worry would be like at a bar or restaurant, like that speakeasy. They do all the drink show in front of you. Cool alcohol or even room temperature alcohol in a glass, especially a wine glass. You heat it up. Is that glass going to just crack on you?
No, because what you're looking at is, I mean, as long as you're not touching the sides of the glass, you just do a straight plunge in. That is a very large, relatively speaking, a very large mass that needs to be heated up. And that, because it's going to boil off and steam off, that's never going to get higher than, like 200 and some odd degrees before it all boils off, as a mass. But, if you actually took that and jammed it all the way in and were touching the glass physically with the red hot iron, yeah, I can see a problem there.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's kind of where, real quick, Jake lives in wine country. Make it sound good. It's not like we don't want to come down there all the fucking time anyway. I'm trying to schedule go down and get a tattoo sometime. If you haven't seen Jake's work, fucking awesome.
Because I'm looking here, Kristen had said, wassail, and Mike was talking about spiced mead. Okay, one, I don't want to do it because that's a whole nother freaking recipe I got to get past the feds. All right?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say was the recipes is the problem.
But if we were to sell the wine, and now that we have the standard business license, if we were to be able to also say, okay, now for an extra $2, here's your packet of spice stuff that you can add yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only thing is I don't know that well, just watching all the different laws, like how I can drive the wine to the state line and I got to get out of the car. Somebody drives it 3 feet over the state line and I get back in the car kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I could see them doing the just as long as you aren't mixing it. Like
Yes.
none of us from the
Yeah.
business could mix it for them. They would
We
have
could
to
not.
mix it.
Yeah, we could not. It would have to be, here's your packet, go over there next to the ketchup. That's where you can mix it at. And, just one of the things like that.
Why do we have
Um,
ketchup at the winery?
Huh?
Well, I'm just saying that's where you put all the condiments, including the spices.
Yeah. No, that's not a bad play. I don't know that we need to talk about this on the air so they can all see how much we don't know about running our business.
Well, no, but the problem is we, as you have now witnessed, dealing with the city of Newton and dealing with the city of Hutch and stuff like that, there are so many people out there doing very sketchy crap because they never look to see what the laws are, and they are just flying under the radar because nobody's noticing what they're doing. Whereas we have figured out enough of the laws, and I don't want to lose our winery, so we are all making sure to toe the line. And that's the reason that we're more constrained than others, is because we're not going to piss off the people that brought down Al Capone. That's not happening.
It has surprised me how many people that have called us, like, hey, could you come to our wine show or whatever? And then they ask me about liquor license or how to do it. And it's like, well, first off, you need to talk to my partner. He knows all that shit. Second off,
Yeah.
we're a newer winery. Why don't you ask one of the bigger wineries? It amazes me how many of them out there are functioning not knowing how to do this shit.
What gets me
You
is
know?
how many, we shall not name municipalities, all right? But the one municipality that you were talking to, they were already having other
Yeah,
alcohol producers there, all right?
asking.
And nobody had talked to anybody about a license until you brought it up. And then they were all of a sudden, oh, I don't know, what do you think we should do? I think you should consult your fucking city lawyers and do this shit right.
Well, and that's the thing, because as an event promoter and stuff, I'm always worried about liquor license. And when we were doing like smokers and shit, oh, the relief it was when you found out that we could get liquor license with the winery to do that. That kind of shit. You're always worried about that. So I know how the festivals and shit work in that. And then when you go to like a bar crawl to the town, because I've done this recently, even that like the town's running and shit with the bars, and they're the ones that are making the local rules and shit, but still not knowing what any of the guidelines are, any of the rules. They just kind of do it. But in fairness, the only people that would come at them is them, unless there's just some third party out there that, and even
Kansas
then,
Department of Revenue, I am trying my damnedest to stay on their good side. And right now we are on their good side. I have had things before I'm like, oh, I forgot to submit, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, just go on there, check the box, you're good to go. Because, as that one Agent Story used to come and inspect us, as she said, we are the people that she doesn't worry about. There's so many establishments out there, especially bars and whatnot, that are trying to reenact Sons of Anarchy, all right, and just be money laundering places and all kinds of stuff like that. That if we just mind our P's and Q's and stay off everybody's radar because we're not doing anything sus, then everything's going to be fine. And if we have any problems, any questions, I've before called them, what the hell, I can't find, they will hand walk me through like a freaking toddler to be able to do everything right. As long as we're on their good side.
I will say every agent that's come by here has been nothing but nice and polite.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, they've been none but friendly and helpful. So
yes,
at least to me. So yeah.
See, and that's good to keep that on record. So that way, when they start crawling up our asses with a microscope, we have it on the paper. We said they were all
I just
nice.
said it because it's being recorded right now. But yeah, I really mean it. No, they really have. I actually kind of miss Agent Story because her husband was a geek. He was a gamer.
I don't know. She always frightened me. Just her ability to quote every bit of it. Quote every bit of the law just right off the top of her head. Well, in subsection 7, part B, subparagraph 2, I'm like, oh crap, you know your shit, lady. Uh,
I liked
yeah.
her. She was just no nonsense. She
Oh,
was,
yeah, she was great.
she was very polite, and she was easy to get along with.
Yeah.
We just degraded into people we like now, guys. We should get
No
going.
money laundering.
Let's
So we
see.
don't
Yeah.
wanna-
Chaucer's does come. Kristen said Chaucer's does come with the packet. And then, I know
Well,
I've heard of
you know-
wassail, but I can't think of what wassail is. I like.
Well, maybe we should talk to Kristen and find out what her recipe is, and maybe do some research on some other recipes.
I didn't know if it was
see
part
what
of the
we wanna add
poster
and
out
what
the
we don't.
winery, because I sit there and look at that poster sometime and I go, "Ooh, I want to make that one. Oh, I want to make that one," but I don't remember the names.
I love that
Oh,
poster.
I love that poster. It makes me want to drink mead. It just does. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Oh, shoot, real quick. This weekend, I didn't bring my calendar. This weekend, we are doing Geek Trivia Night at WSU. The Wheat State Ghostbuster guys will be there. We're gonna have a Wheat State Ghostbuster team. The Star Trek people should be there, but they're
No one
computer
told us.
people. They're nerds. No, I honestly didn't know I was going till recently for sure. I put myself on as a backup, but so they're going to be up there, or we're going to be up there. Hell, I think you can still sign up, but I don't know a ton about the event because I wasn't sure I was going. I will post up the links and stuff, but we're going to be up there doing a meet and greet and stuff like that. Also, this weekend is what other event that? Oh, is the Garden City Comic Con. The one that I took
Nice.
Rich up and we emceed. Yeah, it is a bit long of a drive.
Was that BobCon or something?
It's called BusterCon. BusterCon.
Buster. It was a B word. Thank you.
Yeah, a friend of ours. He's an author. Real great guy. He runs that event. I was supposed to be up there emceeing this year. I just can't. I got too much going on. So, but I think they got.
Just tell me you're afraid of the fires.
I think they got caught. There's fires going on up there.
Dude, you don't know about all the fires down in southwest Kansas and the Oklahoma
Oh
border?
I told you
yes,
that.
yes. My wife keeps my head going. So that sounded dirtier than I wanted it to. I think they got cosplay Joker doing the MC work.
Hold the camera. That's it. Okay, go ahead.
Badass Cosplay is going to be running cosplay down there. So if anybody is interested, it's a 1-day Saturday only event. And that's all I can think of. And everybody's talking.
And also this weekend is the third weekend of the month. So the IPMS, International Plastic Modelers Society, is having their monthly meeting for anybody who wants to get into modeling. It's down at the Baptist Church just south of the, on Broadway, just, in south of 47. South. Yeah.
I thought he was
so
looking at me for directions in
I know.
Wichita. I was like, don't do it.
Yeah, no, it's just south of 47th Street South at the Baptist Church on the west side of Broadway. If anybody wants to go.
Saturday's Dustin's birthday. Happy birthday, Dustin. I'd ask how old you are, but I know it's younger than me, so it'll just make me
Yeah,
jealous.
so piss off.
Are there chats the rest of us don't see? No, the only other one is one that Daryl and I can have with each other, but we just talk to each other anyway. So
Yeah.
not that I'm aware of. Garden City's 4 hours away and on fire. And Hunk says hi, Christy.
Hi,
So-
Hunk.
All right, guys. Happy birthday, Dustin. Oh yeah, and Dustin, I saw you're going to be working over at the Pez stage this year instead of, I was going to make you go get me a fucking deal from Ernie Hudson, a new one, but I still might because I'm not going to make it to Planet this year. But anyhow, having that said, night, guys. Hugs and kisses.
Night.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Love you. See you. Bye.